jihad.
So don't expect him to vote for anybody but Bush.
All right, but
he's not being hypocritical.
But what I'm saying is now I'm talking to the atheists out there, and also, see, since I don't believe that all religious people are complete idiots, all right, number one, you have nothing to learn from an atheist who votes for a Jesus freak like George Bush. There is a contradiction between the thought and the deed, okay? Secondly, I do traffic surveys, I was telling you before, and I did traffic surveys in the World Trade Center before the first bombing and before the second bombing, and since, now the underground part, the train part is working. I've done surveys in what you might call the basement of the World Trade Center. So I have followed the 9/11 microscopically. There's no doubt the Islamic fundamentalists did it. They even say they did it, but I mean, there's no, they're conspiracy buffs. I did it, you did it, that kind of stuff. Okay. Oh well, I mean, listen, 9/11 happened. Falwell told us it happened because of the abortionists and the gays. So
and Billy Graham.
All right, I mean, in other words, all right. But what I'm trying to get at
and
is,
it's our fault too.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that. I mean, Falwell would agree
you have
with
5 minutes, and I want to get your opinion on the book in
what
here.
What I'm getting at is that at the end of the day, he is for the Crusaders against the jihad. Number one, I ain't for the Crusaders against the jihad. I ain't for the jihadists against the Crusaders, and none of us should be.
Right.
Okay. And now let me put it to crunch time with Christopher. This is crunch time. All right. Here's an article from yesterday's Times. U.S. set to offer huge arm deals to Saudi Arabia.
No. I want to get. We have 5 minutes, and hold on to that because I want to get your thoughts on the book, Dennis. Give me 5 minutes.
I didn't read it. I wasn't as harshly critical of it as Lenny is. However, your points are certainly taken. Writing style, the fact that he's obnoxious appealed to me. I don't know. There are certain areas in there that I had a problem with too, and such as his classification of Freud and his assessment of certain things as though he were, as he appears to be, as though he were presenting his opinion as fact. So I would certainly have criticism there. I tend to agree with you on the idea that he is getting his atheism out. It certainly. I also read The God Delusion, Richard Dawkins. I have certain issues with that one too. Generally, I would say it's probably worth reading for everybody.
And it's a good thing that we're bringing this discussion into the public.
I mean, it is. We're bringing
this
discussion. I would
adding
say,
to that discussion.
I would say generally
keeping it the discussion.
Well, let me put it this way: he's adding to the discussion, but once you start, like I say, politics. Otto von Bismarck put it very beautifully. Politics is the art of the possible. Okay, so we got a war going on right now. All right, and there are thousands of people demonstrating, and it's in the newspapers all the time, and the war is becoming more and more unpopular, except with Christopher. Okay, right. He is still hot for the war. I mean, his feeling is that his complaint is that Bush ain't hard enough and mean enough.
Believe me, right now, that's going on. There are a lot of emails going on right now, filling up my box. There are a lot of atheists who have trouble with that because they don't like the fact that an atheist is lending their name to the war.
Right, and I think
that's very upset over that.
Yeah, and I think that should be worth calling attention to.
If you recall, you guys here at American Atheist asked Christopher to march in the demonstration that you had, and he told you to take a hike.
No. I don't think we did not invite the March on Washington.
Yeah,
we did not invite him, as far as I don't think so. But he criticized the March on Washington. I think it's Free Inquiry or something.
He doesn't believe in marching for atheism. That's his whole point. All right. Well, now
he also criticized Madeleine O'Hare.
That's what I'm getting at. In other words,
2 minutes, Lenny.
In other words, all of his talk about atheism, when someone says, "Now let's get our act together and start doing something,"
I know.
I know.
It was amazing.
So, all right. So what I'm getting at is that there is supposed to be a unity between thought and action. All right. So let's put it this way. There's not, some of his thoughts are very, very confused and nonsense. Sigmund Freud Dr. Freud was a doctor. So if you tell your doctor, Chris, that Sigmund Freud was not a doctor, he will think you are
He's not
crazy.
going to let that go. He's not
Okay.
going to let that go.
Okay.
But he's right on target when it comes to criticizing theology, and we got to
Only
give him that.
sometimes.
I think you should take it with a grain of salt, like anything you read.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there are one or two quotes that I didn't know about, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, he's a well-read person.
Okay, so there's something new under the sun in this book.
But basically speaking, he has nothing to teach us, and we're going to have to teach him a lesson or two.
Oh, interesting way to sum that up. Well, thank you. Yeah, anything else to add to that, Dennis?
Yeah, well, okay. I would say it's probably more important that it be read than not be read.
Yeah. And again,
And it's all there for people to find,
And I'm very glad that it's out there. I'm glad that he wrote the book, and I'm glad he's adding to the public discussion on theology and state-church separation in America and making it more visible, making atheists more visible.
Maybe we
I'm
should
very
have him on the
happy
show.
about that. If he would come on the show, it's very hard.
Well,
That's
I'm
another
always
show. I'm not
ready
even
to
going to.
debate him,
That would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
But we especially want to thank you, the viewer and the listener, for checking out the show today. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Dennis.